Hello everyone, I'm Aaron, a birding naturalist. Welcome to my channel. It is raining in California. A lot. So, does this mean the drought is over? Is that it? Are we done? No. The answer to that question is no. So, California is in the midst of a pretty impressive series of storms. The one that is raining behind me is basically the fourth storm in a series of 6 that is forming in this atmospheric river that is currently flowing basically across the Pacific Ocean towards California and dumping quite a bit of rain or snow on the state, depending on what elevation you're at. And it's great. Getting all of this rain is fantastic. But it's not going to be enough to get us out of the drought. So all this rain means that reservoirs are refilling. The rain that's hitting the ground, it's seeping into the groundwater. It's recharging that soil moisture. It's also going to eventually seep down and recharge groundwater supplies. And both of those things have been severely withdrawn and reduced over the course of the past years of drought that California has been experiencing. In the higher elevations, all this precipitation is falling as snow, and it's building up a snowpack in the Sierra that hopefully will mean that it is there throughout the spring and into the summer, and that snow will melt and the water it releases will flow downhill and keep the rivers and streams of the state of California flowing at least a lot more than they have in the past few years. We don't know if that's going to happen for sure. We'll have to wait and see basically how kind of February, March, April plays out. If it gets really hot really soon and all that snow melts really quickly, well, we're going to be in trouble again. But even if you take the sort of concerns and potential opportunities of the snowpack out of it for a moment and just kind of focus on the rain. Over the past years, we have used so much water and our reservoirs have been reduced so far and our groundwater resources have been reduced so much that even if you take all of the rain from all 6 of these storms, it's still not going to be enough to actually end the drought. It's still not going to be enough to fill our reservoirs up to capacity, especially the big ones. Shasta, Oroville, some of the big reservoirs in the state are not going to fill up all the way because of this system, even though it is dumping a lot of rain. There is a lot of rain coming down. The past few days have been amazing. Over New Year's, there was a big storm that swept through. It was also pretty breathtaking. It's been a lot, and it's still not enough. We're going to need more rain than this system is going to deliver if this drought is really going to be officially over. However, there is kind of an interesting pairing that is happening right now, and that is, we've been in drought for a long time, right? California has been in at least a 4-year drought. And in response to that, the governor of the state of California, Governor Newsom, released a drought emergency proclamation, which instructed lots of state agencies and lots of other organizations to enact a variety of different measures to combat the drought. But at the moment, with this storm system coming through and this series of storms coming through and dumping all of this rain in a relatively short period of time, we are getting flooding. And so, there's localized flooding. Trees are coming down, taking out power cables. There's causing a general level of increased chaos. And because of that, because of the floods and the damage from the floods, Governor Newsom has also released just recently an emergency flood proclamation. So At the time of this recording, the state of California is simultaneously under an emergency flood proclamation and an emergency drought proclamation. The director of water resources, whose name is Carla Nemeth, recently described this as weather whiplash. And I think it's a really good term that really describes kind of what we're dealing with right now. And it, crazy as it sounds, how could you possibly be under a drought condition proclamation and a flood proclamation at the same time? Crazy as it sounds, this is actually the kind of situation that is totally consistent with climate change predictions and models and what we expect to see from climate change. Having extended periods of drought that make the situation really bad. And then like this, a crazy wet period, which floods areas momentarily, but still, even with all that water, is not enough to alleviate the drought, is gonna be more and more normal as we go forward. Atmospheric rivers, which I mentioned just briefly, which are these narrow bands of very high moisture air in the atmosphere, are predicted to become more common in the future in response to climate change. And in particular, the Western US, like California, is one of the places that's predicted to see the most dramatic increases in the frequency and severity of atmospheric rivers. So this is exactly what we expect. This is exactly what climate scientists have been predicting for decades. This is no surprise, even though it is really crazy. Like, it's wild to be in. It's wild to be in drought and flooding at the same time. So the long and the short of it, I know there's lots of people asking that out there. Is the drought over? Is this rain means the drought's over? Do we have to not worry about the drought anymore? The drought is not over. We're not going to get out of the drought with this rain system. We might get out of the drought this year, depending on what the rest of January and what February and what March brings, but that all remains to be seen. And as has been proven many times in California and many other places in the world, weather is interesting and chaotic and complicated. And so it's really too early to say at this point if this drought is over. We can definitely say right now it's not. Will it end this year? I don't know. So it's a little bit about drought and atmospheric rivers and rain in California and this current amazing weather system that we are experiencing. Thank you very much for the view. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and until next time, stay dry and enjoy the natural world.